everyone, we are the Group 2 and for this video, we will discuss all about the integrating active learning approaches in mathematics and science learning. So, mathematics and science learning have been regarded as difficult or challenging because of the abstract nature of the concepts or lesson being delivered in the mathematics and science subject. Sometimes, the manner by which these two courses are taught lies out of touch. As such, it is expected that mathematics and science teachers must be carried out in a more applicable to the students' lives. So, in this lesson, we will discuss the concept of the different learning approaches in mathematics and science, teaching and learning on how information and communication technology will help and develop using the different active learning approaches.
InquiryBased Learning and Research-Based Learning, the first step is the KWL chart. First is familiarize yourself with KWL chart concept. Examine the concepts of the charts and consider how you might incorporate them into your math or science lessons. Step 2. Starting with an essential or big question. Consider a queries you'd like to ask your students about a specific lesson in your mathematics or science class. Inquiry-based learning typically begins with essential or large, broad questions that elicit a variety of responses from the respondents. Do this with a 5 group members. These are the possible questions that you might consider. Is growing an essential part of living? How does mathematics help us develop our society? What is being rational? Why do we create? What is the essence of biodiversity? Make a huge question of the KWL chart. Third step, finding out what you know. Provide an answer to the big question you find based in your group's mutual lived experiences. Fill out the first column on the KWL chart with your responses. Each members are required to actively engage in this phase in order to completely address the KWL map. Writing and speaking skills can be noticed as each member participates in the exercise. This exercise can be repeated at any time in the future in your mathematics or science classes. For certain students, such as in preschool, cannot write their answers. You should encourage them to draw their answers in the map.
In step 4, getting to the bottom or what we want to discover, by answering the second column, you will be able to come up with additional information that is outside of your current understanding of the big questions. And in step 5, experts were consulted to find out the responses. Continue looking for answers to your questions from reputable sources or conduct interviews with some teachers or other human resources. And lastly, in step 6, organize the results of your data collection and record your responses in column 3 of your KWL chart.
Inquiry is an approach to learning that involves the process of exploring the natural or material world and that leads to asking questions, making discoveries in the search for new understanding. In short, it is an act of asking for information or a process of asking questions. Inquiry-based learning is an approach to learning that emphasizes the student's role in the learning process. Rather than the teacher telling students what they need to know, students are encouraged to explore the material, ask questions, and share ideas. Example, a math teacher can see how students work through problem solving during inquiry lessons. Teacher in a math may demonstrate how to solve problems, but by watching students come up with the solutions, they are able to get a better understanding of the steps it took to get there.
When we use inquiry-based learning, according to Chisholm and Goldie 2011, inquiry-based teaching, also known as inquiry-based learning, offers a unique approach to learning about science because it allows students to investigate and learn practical skills through hands-on activities. In terms of mathematics, inquiry-based instructions can assist students in focusing on how to solve problems in a variety of situations. In terms of mathematics, inquiry-based instructions can assist students in concentrating on how to solve problems in a variety of rational ways.
So next is the types of inquiry. The VIU 2020 presented the 4 types of inquiry that can be used in facilitating classes. The first type is the structured inquiry. This lets the students follow the lead of the teacher as the entire class engages in one inquiry together. Students confirm a principle through an activity when the results are known in advance. Next is the controlled inquiry. The teacher chooses topics and identifies the resources the students will use to answer questions. Students investigate a teacher-presented question through a prescribed procedure. The third type is guided inquiry. The teacher chooses topics or questions and students design the product or solution. Students investigate a teacher-presented question using student-designed selected procedure. And the fourth type is free inquiry. Students are allowed to choose their own topics without any reference to a prescribed outcome. Students investigate questions that are student-formulated through student-designed selected procedure.
Role of the teacher. The success of IBL or the inquiry-based learning depends largely on the careful planning of the teacher. The teacher needs to look into the learning competencies that can be satisfied by a simple inquiry or more complex inquiry. The teacher also controls and prepares the topic for investigation and guides the learners by setting the questions to be explored. And by that, learners are now allowed to design their own way of investigation and present their outputs using technology tools that are afforded to them. The coupling of IBL and technology opened a gateway to information, and it allows students to have that certain information anytime and anywhere. It is always assumed that a teacher is knowledgeable of the sources of information and whether the learners has to access these sources. But when designing IBL or inquiry-based learning, teacher has to consider the following fields proposed by AVSEC and COGESNC. First is the prior knowledge and capacity. Second is the context, which learners require meaning from experiences. And the last is the content and learning materials availability.
Role of technology. Technology can be an important part of inquiry-based learning. Since so much of today's information, technology is aimed at answering questions and providing up-to-date information. New technologies like CD-ROOMs and the internet are also interactive, which help engage student inquiry. There are many pre-educational websites that are available for science and mathematics teachers and learners. Due to the vastness of sources of information from www, any mathematics or science teacher who is using IBL or inquiry-based learning has responsibilities to direct learners to websites that provide the proper information. According to Bernie Deutsch, the originator of the WebQuest concept, is an inquiry-oriented activity in which most or all information used by learner is drawn from the web. WebQuest is an inquiry-oriented lesson format in which most or all the information that learners work with comes from the web.
Lesson 2, Problem-Based Learning and Project-Based Learning.
So this time, let's tackle all about the nature of problem-based learning. So what is problem-based learning? A problem-based learning is an approach that involves a process of inquiry and solving an open-ended questions. The questions are focused to the specific content standards and its application to real-life issues. In engaging the PBL or problem-based learning, So the learners are able to learn about problem solving, communications, and research among others. So the end goal of this PBL or problem-based learning is to ensure that the learning of competencies are achieved to its process.
So now, let's proceed to 5 principles of problem-based learning. Ali described the PBL as a process that is used to identify problems in a scenario that can increase knowledge and understanding. In her research article, she proposed the following 5 principles that can be considered by teachers in planning and using the approach.
Number 1, independent and self-directed learning. Number 2, learning happens in a group and teacher is a facilitator. Number 3, all groups have to participate equally. Number 4, students learn about motivation, teamwork, problem solving, and engagement to the task. Number 5, materials such as an idea, photographs, articles can be used to solve the problem.
So let's proceed to the next topic, which is the 6-stage process that was used in the adoption of the online PBL or problem-based learning proposed by YEL in 2019. So first, identifying the problem. Current issues that do not have just one answer or one definite solution. Number 2, brainstorming, generate ideas, tackle the problem through self-directed questioning. 3, collecting and analyzing information, assigning group members to collect information. 4, synthesizing information, solving the problem through relevant data synthesis, knowledge building. 5, co-building knowledge, presentation of the solution to the learning problem or issue. 6, refining the outcomes, giving of feedback and suggestions by the instructor to help students improve learning from other groups in presentation. Or evaluate the group's products and performance using rubrics to determine whether students have clearly communicated the problem.
Benefits of problem-based learning. Several studies engage the positive impact of the PBL on learners as they engage in the process. In the work of Schettino 2016, PBL and Teaching Mathematics, Group Works, Values, and All Voices, and as the mathematics classroom environment becomes safe, the research prompts the importance of checking the students' performance and questioning skills. It means that PBL gives the opportunity to the students to enhance their communication skills through presenting their ideas or solution and on the class about the given problem. In the study of Wallach and Duncan 2011, they proposed that mathematics or teaching mathematics should not be taught merely as solving word problem, but solve problem outside the mathematics classroom. It means PBL give the opportunity to the students to solve problem involving conceptually complex material. In the study of Kim, Balland, and Walker 2018, they discussed that PBL is a learner-centered approach that aims to improve the content knowledge and problem-solving skills using authentic problems. And according in the study of Emil and Balland 2010, that the students or the PBL allow the students to construct their own learning using group activities and solving real-life problem presented as a scenario base. So it means that PBL give the opportunity to the students to solve or enhance their mathematics skills or their problem skills by using it or connected the problem into the real life scenario.
Let's proceed to the role of technology. How is technology integrated in the PBL activity? So, as the learners embarks on an open-ended collaboratively, so there are a numbers of free online tools that they can use from commencement of the task to its completion, especially that some of the group tasks will be done outside the regular class hour. According to Bauer, Hedberg, and Kuswara, technology is a simple mediator for collaboration and representation, and that is the type of task and thinking process in which students engage that determines the quality of learning. So the World Wide Web has affordances for PBL that can be utilized by the learners to accomplish their task. Web 2.0 technologies are characterized by collaboration, sharing, and networking. This may facilitate and enhance PBL activities in its different stages. According to Tarrant, using Web 2.0 is effective in helping students in health to bridge gap between theory and practice. According to Humes and Dubitsky, Web 2.0 tools facilitate creativity, collaboration, and sharing of research results among users. Schitino says that PBL in mathematics classrooms promotes the use of technology in the process of problem solving for the students to become more independent and aware of various mathematical resources they can by using technology as tool to help students to solve real problems and become better prepared for the dynamic world in which they live. Productivity tools such as for those writing, presentation, spreadsheets, calendars, organizers, citation, and others are also available to assist learners and teachers in accomplishing required tasks and outputs from PBL activity. Before using and recommending these tools to the students, the teachers will be familiar first to the most appropriate tools for the PBL activity.
Nature of project-based learning or approach. Project-based learning is an approach but has evolved as a teaching method that engages learners as a series of planned tasks resulting to the generation of solutions to real-world problems. Project-based learning is a student-centered approach as it takes into account the realm of experience and interest of the students. This method is based on John Dewey principle of learning by doing and Vygotsky constructivist theory of learning that advocates social construction of knowledge.
Research methodology skills using student feedback questionnaire given to 99 students. It was revealed that students were enhanced in their knowledge of the topic, taken searching review for the topic, improved communication skills, data collection skills, and analytical and presentation skills when PRBL was used as component in research methodology. So, the teacher's perception also agreed that there was 100% enhancement of knowledge in the various components of research methodology, update of the knowledge in a particular topic, and increased interaction with students.
Critical thinking skills is to solve real-life problems. Students are expected to use the knowledge they had constructed to think deeply about the issue, consider evidence for or against a proposed solutions, and apply reasoning skills and logical inquiry to come up with her best solution or conclusion.
And now, let's proceed to the development of life skills by Modinier and Corici 2015. Development of life skills is all about examining the development of life skills through PRBL, means, function, reasonable, benefits, limits, and PBL means problem-based learning findings, and revealed the significant and different in their means scores show the following skills like responsibility, problem solving, self-direction, communication, and creativity skills. Comparing to both PRBL in depth, further development of life skills.